Hello there everybody and welcome back to episode 2 of my gameplay series for Sythlonia. So, last episode we were founding that little outpost, and if you are interested in the game's rules for this session, it is a roleplay run. Check out the first episode. But to sum it up real quick, we are sitting on a city that is super rich on Sithalon, and I'm role-playing a situation where we are bound to mine that stuff ASAP and give off 90% of our earnings to our sponsoring kingdom that just made us happen, so to say. Either way, more info in episode 1. Let's get going for today. So, we got a snuggly little town center here. We're waiting for the furniture for the market to be constructed. At the same time, we're now employing a couple of carpenters. Number 3 has been freshly employed, as I really feel like we really need more people here. The furniture flows into the construction of the market for now, and we'll be bringing up more and more of these things. Meanwhile, we're herding our animals, we're eating the meat, and we got to get ourselves some fishing going in the course of the time, and as soon as I have enough workers available, I want to farm me some grain as the very first thing that we pick up, as grain will allow us to produce bread, and bread is preferred food for the Dondorians and the humans, so we are going to kill two birds with one stone there. Alright, in the meantime though, we're really producing that furniture darn slow. Only almost 3 units of furniture a day, which is really not much. So we're picking up all the new people here in one go. And yeah, I know, our loyalty ain't that high. But this will be mitigated quite quickly. So, let's see. How is the availability of services? Quite good enough, except for the availability of wells. So maybe the carpenters want a place where they can wash off their dirt from their hands. So we're going to bring up a nice little well here across the road. I mean, it ain't far away from that one, but maybe this will make the people a tad bit happier. Alright. So, the market's construction is almost ready and done. So here we go, people building the well and the market. Wells are really nice as they don't really cost you any upkeep or anything like that. So, let's make sure that this place doesn't grab up anything that it shall not grab up. There we go. So, I think that should be okay for now. We're gonna employ only one person at the market, as I think this will be totally enough. So, it is time for another necessity, a janitor's place. So, let's make that a standard issue janitor, employing up to 10 people. Worked out really decently for me run after run, to have a janitor's house with 10 people available. So let's make a couple of doors in here. Again, accessible from all sides, and there we go. So far, the city is quite stable. We have now more consumption than we have production. That's something that I should keep an eye out for. But at the same time, with the yearly forage, we should be getting there. So year 2 is getting closer to its end, and we still are not nearly close to our goal. Alright, so with the furniture that we're allocating, the next thing that we're going to bring up is a hunter's place. The hunter will be really useful for us now and in the future, as the hunter is capable of bringing up meat early on, and he'll be bringing up leather later on when we don't need it anymore, or not that much anymore. But up until then, let's finish the janitor's place first. So, there we go. As you see here, degradation is already happening all over the place. This is really necessary. The janitors also keep the road here in shape, so the general road is now also accessible. Nice, isn't it? Okay, now then, let's move over to the... Where is it? Crafting? No, it's among the other things. Here, hunters. So, I'll be putting down the hunter probably next to the pastures here. Meat production, sort of. And let's make that happen like this. Alright, so let's see. These require a bit of furniture. So each one of these tables requires me to bring up 2 more pieces of furniture. Alright. So let's make that capacity for 8 hunters. It's quite large, I know. But, well... Oh, we need the utilities also for furniture. Ah, no, well, never mind then. So we're going to start out small and furnish it up later. Okay. So let's put up the auxiliaries like that. And leave up some room for later to expand that thing. 34 furniture will be already more than enough of a task for this little city here. Alright, my Dondorian friends, they aren't too happy yet. That's a tragedy, but whatever. We're gonna get past that. So I am currently not able or willing to pick up more people. As we see here, our production versus our consumption rate is flat out negative. So, oh boy, we're lacking workers now. It's yeah, sure. No game. We don't need that many janitors. Early on, auto-employment is hardly carryable at times. The game wants to employ a lot of janitors now to repair that road, but it is not as if that would be really an important thing. Yeah, well. Alright, the winter ends, the year 3 begins. We are really, really in a good shape and in a good way. So we now need only to expand our furniture production, and we will come by quite nicely. So the 2 pastures are almost at full production, well, ish. Yeah, well, let's fast forward here. There we go, finally. The hunter's shack is being opened up. So the Dondorians, they really don't like it too much here. So even though their services are somewhat fulfilled, it's just not enough. I tell you what's missing here, and that's a frickin' toilet. I'm not lying, that's just what it is. So here we now have 2 hunters employed. These guys can produce 6 meat together. So they're much more productive than my herders. As 3 herders produce 3.75 food per day. So these guys crank out way more. The downside is just you need furniture to get it done. So I like to postpone that until I have a little bit of a baseline production here. So let's set up a toilet. I think it is okay to have the toilet right next to the marketplace. As a matter of fact, I think it is actually quite fitting. So we're going to make a 10 on 10 building. This ain't too large, but also not too small. We can work with that. So let's see. There we go. 10 services, 2 employees. Let's see if we make it larger. Then we reach 3 employees. Yeah, I think that's okay. Let's add up some basins into that thing. And as you see here, it's again a matter of furniture. That's why I was delaying these a little bit. Because I wanted to invest my furniture first into food production, as I see that much more important. Our production rate is now positive, so let's double click the humans and we are just right there. It's okay, as we see here, our production rate is only counting the meat production. We're in no problems whatsoever. Here, the food production will be soon maxed out, just like with the other pasture. Happiness is going down a tad bit. Well, that's probably because we picked up so many new faces. They never like that. I tell you what, we're going to crank up the amount of carpenters here too for the time being, as we need more furniture ASAP. I will reduce the total amount of carpenters in a hot minute again, But for now, it is just what we need. 2 people are homeless, but it doesn't really show me where. So we're just going to add in another one of these apartments here. And see if that'll help. Boom, just like that. Tell you what, we are rich enough in wood that we can allow these guys to pick up wood for their houses as well. This won't make much of a problem for us, as we're constantly chopping trees here via the terraforming, and that brings up all the material we require. Alright, so the toilets are done. Hooray! Party time! So a lot of people work in here, but it is really helpful and cranks up the happiness of the town so much that it'll be much worth it. At the same time, the people of Siflonia finally can furnish their homes with wood, so there will be at least some positive recognition of our reign. Alright, we are finally in a mirror, so that means science can happen. Now, we've already decided that the industry area will flow south. The agriculture will go north. Forestry and woodworking will go west. So we might go east with our administrational district and the stuff. I already have pretty much blocked the roads for a while here, so it's pretty much time to finally get ourselves a road over here. And make it happen here too. Quickly. Let's build a crossroads here. Because I feel like it's darn important that we're not blocking ourselves here. Okay. Let's connect these parts of the city again. Oh, let's see. I would like to have more of these naturally gliding things, a little bit less of these sharp cut corners. But at this point, we're going to have it like that for the moment. Since the game has no natural elevations or anything like that, it's really hard to roleplay around that for real. Jeez, the Dondorians hated to be here. Well, it's about time that we consider getting ourselves some bread up, I'd say. But we need to connect the roads down to this point. It's very important. Yeah, well, let's make that a straight line. And then let's see how far my janitor's reach goes. So we can go all the way down here. That means if we want to go for the Scythalon pits, we will need to go way further into this area, and we'll need another janitor down there. Okay, so for starters, I'll just let a little time pass by and let them build their roads. The biggest problem of the people of Siflonia is right now, their main food income is decomposing quite quickly, so stockpiling is not really a thing for us. The only thing we're successfully stockpiling is furniture, which is quite good because I totally want to set up my first lab here. So we're going to set up the lab at this corner here, and we're going to make it a snuggly 12 on 12. Let's see how many people we can fit in there. So let's go for the slim tree, for the slim tables. All right, 24 people. That's pretty okay for me. Probably could fit in a couple of them more, but it's okay. It's okay. Maybe we'll do another refurnishing of that place. Maybe we will rebuild it at some point. I don't know. All I do know is that we need to get that tech point, that technology goal fulfilled. Year 3 is coming closer to its end, and we're making fine progress. The first laboratory is down for we're already considering what we can do here with that. This looks, by the way, way worse than it is, as our production rate is positive. Although, what it does, it really is not good for the happiness of this place. So, here we go. We're going to employ for starters, only 2 scientists here. We don't have much capacity here to hold these people, and whoever is working in here has to stay in here for good. So, therefore, I'm quite reluctant to crank up the numbers here too hard. What we're going to do now, we're going to use the winter to... Oh boy. Let's set up another hearth over here. Let's make that a big one, huh? Yeah, why not? We can afford it by now. So, what I was trying to say is we're going to employ ourselves 2 more carpenters. And I want to make sure that we're crafting ourselves quite some furniture for this winter. And then we're going to amp up the number of hunters here. The room here provides more than enough space for extra butcher's tables, and that'll help us to crank up our food income for a couple of days more. Later, when we don't need it anymore, we're going to send the hunters to fetch us leather, as food will be acquirable by other sources. So the hunters will stay relevant one way or another for us. Okay, spring is coming, so let's do the refurnishing. I got 11 units of furniture, so we refurnish the room by adding in... Let's pause the game. Let's see, these add in 2 hunters. Yeah, okay. So we are going to just double the number of people in here. Or no, we're going to make it like that. So we can put down 1 piece of utility there. Let's make it something like that. That's blocking. Alright, so 22 pieces of furniture. And I did time this out a little bit, because during the time that we're waiting here, our hunters are not working, you know? They can't work while the refurnishing is being done, so take that into account. Alright, so we can accept a couple of people more now. 31 people! Our city is growing, my friends. So, with 5 hunters employed, we now have, again, way more food than we require. We cannot really store it as it spoils just directly as we have it. Meat has a 100% spoilage rate, so cannot keep it that long. But it doesn't matter, as we have a daily consumption, and that's all it requires. So, let's pick up the other 5 people. And we have now 10 workers at our disposal. That is super, super awesome. So what I'm going to do now is going to make me a tad bit unhappy, but I have to do it. It's just going to be like our first grain farm will be not as I want my grain farms to be. It's neither going to be particularly fertile, nor will it be at a spot where I actually want it to have. So we're going to build our first grain farm right on top of this place here. It's just like we need grain so badly right now that I really want to have a farm as fast as possible. As you see here, we're going to tailor it as close to 4 farmers as we are probably able to right now. There we go. So that's not too much of a production, but it's also not too much of a workforce binding. The biggest problem that we have these days is that these things bind our workforce, and bound workforce is bad for us. Just general saying. So we're going to go for a bakery now. And if our agriculture is in this district, then I think it will be absolutely okay to have the bakery somewhere around here as well. So we're going to put up... Well, where are we going to put up the bakery, huh? Let's put it up here. Let's make that rather large-ish. Oh, let's see. Fully stabilized, but it looks horrible. So that ain't stabilized yet, but it looks not as horrible anymore. So we're going to go for a discount variant of that. With 11 employees, That is really not much. We could do way more, but it is okay, as I don't want to have a too costly workshop as of now. So we're going to keep it low on that end. Alright, here goes. We have now 11 employees workspace. That's totally okay. Oh yeah, they require storage, of course. So here we go. And let's open it up like that. Since the construction of the grain farm will take a while, at least as long as we take to forage more about stuff, I'll be starting with the other thing next, so we can get ourselves a little bit ahead of time. So let's see, back there is a bit of grain for forage. There's herb and mushroom for forage. There we go. Later in the game, we will just import these things. For today, that ain't possible. So we have a lot of homeless people, but that is just not having enough homes at all. So we're going to go set up a couple of apartments here. And here in the farming area, or in the farming area to be, I think longhouses will be fitting quite well, but I don't know yet where we're going to have the residential area yet, so we're going to postpone that decision for now. Alright. So people are moving in, less homelessness is occurring, and here we go. So let's turn off the auto-employment right away again, and turn off the bakery whatsoever, because we really only did do that until the grain farm is completed. Okay, so with that amount of workers left open, we're going to employ a couple of extra researchers. Our starter technology points, of course, will not be flowing directly into the Cephalon production, as this would be really silly and not too intelligent. So we're now capable of getting ourselves entertainment technologies and, well, oh, food stall upgrades are not available yet. So I'd say a proper burial might be the very first thing that we're unlocking for ourselves here. Let's do this. So, the graveyard of this city. Usually, you wouldn't want to live too close by to the graveyard. Let's see how far away the janitor is going to go. So we're going to put the graveyard on the other side of the road. Let's see. Yeah, can easily fit, bring it down here. So we're going to set up our first graveyard here. There we go. Just a nice little graveyard. I'll give it a bit of an extra shape here, so it doesn't look exactly the same everywhere. Okay, and now begins the graveyard plotting. Here we go. I love it what you can do with this game. Like, there is so much individualization options there. Okay, so we're going to put it down like that. Wait a sec, exactly 2 employees? I'm down. This is just what we want. If this thing takes exactly 2 employees, we're exactly at the spot where I want it to be. So let's add in pathways for maximum respect. And, yeah. Go. You can spend quite some time with the exact engineering of your graveyards, as you see. So we can put down some trees there, left and right. Then we can add in some flower beds. I really, really adore this. So, there we go. It's gonna be costing us quite some resource, but whatever. It's also going to be the a real center of culture here, sorts of. Okay, let's clear some rock so we have the necessary material. And for now, life in Syphlonia is simple but good. All we need to do is fulfill these starter things, and our researchers are getting the ball rolling for us. So, let's see. Farm ain't done yet, so we're going to take the farm as a project for later down the road. Ah, here we go. So finally it's done. So that thing is soaking up 5 workers as of right now. This is really not much. 5 workers are no problem whatsoever to sustain, and it did pass by real quick, but we just got a notification that we are now officially an Amarier, and we have now the rights to import and export things, which is really good, as this gets us to the point where we can finally get ourselves through with a lot of early game problems. But the biggest problem that we still got is that we will require more food production, way more food production. Luckily, we've been producing lots of furniture in the meantime, so we can do the same trick one more time here. Again, we're amping up the amount of butcher tables in here. 3 more people. And then we just need to crank up the amount of utilities in here a tad bit. Let's put that in here, like that. Probably one more like that. And now we got a a fully staffed out hunter that is cranking out tons of food there. There we go. So yeah, our daily production versus consumption is positive again, so we can authorize a couple of workers extra. And just like that, we have now all the most basic industries together. So we can post down a couple of crates for grain and for bread. And we can employ our first bakers. So I'm going to do an auto-employment here for the moment, as the AI is actually not that bad at all at allocating the proper amount of people. Oh boy. But we need to chop trees again. We went down to 0 trees. So, the Tilapi are extending their greetings and give us some money and stone. Well, we're not falling for this cheap gift, but, well, we're not going to say no to it either. Alright, so I'm going to place down a longhouse here right next to the fields. Like I said before, we can totally get that away if we wanted to. Alright, the guild is also saying hi to us. These are our bosses in terms of the story. Alright, the bakery uses the wood that we got as fuel. We're going to use coal later, but for starters, it's going to be like that. Okay, so our first harvest will be soon in. Until then, we're going to thrive off of meat. Ain't the worst thing, ain't the best thing either, but, well, we'll be getting there, my friends. We'll be getting there. In the meantime, our graveyard is making really good progress, and the winter of the 4th year is coming to an end. 5 years, or 4 years have passed. We're entering the 5th year of Syphlonia, and, well, things are looking quite good so far. We are pretty well on our clock. We are seeing here, well, quite a nice amount of technology. We still have officially 5 years left to fulfill our task to get our first Syphilon mined out. So I'd say, yes, we have a good and fair chance of fulfilling our 10-year goal. So I'd say it's a good point to end for today as well, as we're now pretty much at a spot where I'd say we'd call it a day. So my good friends, thank you so much for watching. Syphlonia is coming along quite nicely. It is a tiny hamlet with 50 people so far, but it is a tiny hamlet with big ambitions. So we will have to work hard to get the necessary technology points in to unlock Syphilon mining, and we'll even have to work harder to get a mine established here, as mining does require metal. So it might be probably quite hard to get it done until year 10, but let's say we do have to get the technology down up until year 10. If we take a little bit longer to establish the actual mine, I think our overlords will not whip us too hard for that. Either way, thank you for watching, my dear friends, and I hope you enjoyed the show. So, let me know in the comment section down below what you were thinking. A thumbs up would be wildly appreciated, as well as a subscription to the channel if you haven't done so already. Down there in the description box, you will find the map sheet that I used for this series. You'll also find a playlist link to the previous episodes of that. Right now, the previous episode. And there's also links to Patreon, PayPal, and Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to support the channel, this is the most effective way to do so. I also offer channel memberships by now, which allows you to early access my videos a little bit before the time. But these videos are always already scheduled for release, so you only have to wait a little bit longer if you aren't a channel member. I just decided to give you a little bit back in return if you're deciding to support here like that, so just as an idea. Anyways, thanks for your time. Thanks for watching this video until the very end. I really deeply appreciate it. In the next episode, we're going to see what we can do, working our way towards the mountain, shaping the city already a little bit towards this task. So, really looking forward to that. I hope you will be around there as well. See you there and have a good day.